Hey guys, it's Jimmy Bremner and Dexter the boy. CTOA Urban Trail. He's being totally silly today, as you can see. So let's just do a kind of a catch up here today. A lot of you ask me, like, when Dexter's out there and he's, interested in things, and they say I have to call him. You see me touching something, and so, like, what is that? Well, it's an e-collar, okay, but it's not a shock collar, all right? So I don't know if you'll be able to hear this, but it makes a vibration, and then it has a high-pitched tone to it. All right, and he comes to me, and I don't have to yell and whistle. He will come on a whistle. He will come on a verbal command. He will come on a hand signal. But the way you do this when they're puppies is you have a long line, and you say, come, and you pull them in, and then you praise, good boy, and you reward. And you keep doing that, you reinforce it. Once you have the verbal down, then you add the hand signal as you're doing the verbal. And then the e-collar comes on, and you add the vibration and the tone. And like I said, if I do the tone, it's not even on him. But he'll, as you see, he'll come right to me because he's such a great guy. What a great dog. He's so mild-mannered and like just medium energy. Great guy. Anyways, so I've answered that question for you. Let's talk a little bit about cool tools and, things that are interesting. The other day you saw me make I made the saw out of limbs, out of a sapling for that saw in the bush kind of thing. It was really good to have. Again, dollar store. These are cut-proof Kevlar gloves. They're in the dollar store. They cost about $4 a glove. They're totally reversible, so you can have two of them, but you should at least have one of them. So when you're holding something, if that blade, that saw, that knife slips, and it will, you're covered. And like you say, you don't make your problem worse in a survivor situation than it needs to be. Probably the other next cool tool, it's called a fencing plier. Okay, and it has enough weight on the head to actually act as a hammer. It has many different cutting surfaces for wire fencing. It has crimpers on the bottom. It has this kind of spike all on it for digging out, removing fencing nails that are like horseshoe shaped. But you know what? It's a really cool tool to have with you because it does so many basic things. And it's compact and it's small, but it does have the weight in the head to, like really hammer a pent tag or a nail or whatever you need to do. A lot of these gimmicks that are out there, if it doesn't have the weight, that inertia in the head, it's just not going to help you. So, like, don't waste your money on silly things, okay? The basic things are the best things, and they've been proven for centuries. So think about that before you make a purchase of something. So, as I said, you've been watching me a long time, and I appreciate that, and I say I'm nostalgic. So I'm, apologize. So I'm at a yard sale. I like the yard sales. And I find this, okay, and if you're as old as me or you know, maybe a bit younger, you'll recognize these. These were hugely popular in the 60s and 70s. And they're basically a camp knife. Okay, they're like a kind of a Boy Scout knife. They're typically, at that time, were made in Japan. It's a bone handle. What kind of bone it is, I'm not so sure. It's stained, you know, it's riveted. But these are actually a throwback to the old days. And, you know, every kid had one at that time. They were, you know, they have the corkscrew, a file, a screwdriver, and a really crazy sharp awl that's actually square in shape. You know, I have a smaller one, I just couldn't locate it, but I collect these kinds of things, and they're a throwback can opener, bottle opener, and they're, you know, if you're into nostalgia and outdoors and camping, you have to have one of these on the shelves, and they're great to give to your kids and grandkids, you know, as a starter, you know, type of thing. So, so where did that come from? So this is something that's called the U.S. Demo knife. It used to come in EOD demolition kits. It then kind of made its way into like a personal issue GI type of knife, and it's actually off of this knife, this type of knife, okay, where the Boy Scout knife evolved from. And what you can see, it has an awl, has a can opener, bottle opener, screwdriver, and a spear point blade. It's stainless steel. And typically, all of these types of knives have a big bail on them, and the reason for that is so you can put them on a like a stick or a bar, and you can dip them into a boiling pot of water to sanitize them. That's what that's for, and that's why they're made out of stainless steel. Over time, they improved, but you know, it is what it is, right? Typically, off of that, you know, you've got the Swiss Army version of it. Again, very similar. Okay, you've got your main blade, your bottle opener, can opener. I apologize, my fingernails are down to the, you know, down to the wick. But that's where your Swiss Army idea came from, basically off of scouting. And then what a lot of you may not be aware of is multi-tools have actually been around since the Second World War. They used to airdrop multi-tools and pistols. It's called the Liberator, with a 45 caliber one-shot pistol made by the USA, and they were dropped for resistance forces in the Second World War. So these are what those original WW2 multi-tools looked like. They were very basic. They were not, they were made in the millions, okay? So they're not like quality, high, you know, like tool steel. That they were what they were. They're very basic tools. That said, I have to tell you, you can still find these in places like, you know, like your Walmart, maybe Menards, maybe you know, like 5 and dime dollar stores and above. You can still find these, and I have to tell you, on a budget, they actually do a great job. They're very thin in profile. If you look at it, those that you know, okay, it would actually make a fantastic EOD tool if somebody would just make it. You know, so I always have one of these. It has the main blade, has a saw, it has a bit of a spear point there so you can drill. It has can opener, bottle opener, has wire cutters, has the pliers, and a Phillips screwdriver on it.
Certainly smother hooked it, so it didn't have the loft that buried. All right.
So as you can hear,
Oh, we got the other one up there.
kind of like danger close, right? Golfers are pretty close today. Anyways, it's me and Dexter the boy, and CTOA Jimmy B signing off. Urban Trail. I'm out.